Alright guys, Forsaken is preparing even more for the next update, including a bunch of upcoming killer skins, the potential return of Earth Day skins, quick chat prompts, and a lot more. I'm going to cover everything new that will be coming to the next update. So if you don't want to miss anything, make sure to subscribe. Let's get into it. Even though we don't have an official announcement yet for the next major update in Forsaken, especially with a brand new killer that will probably arrive, a lot of people are already speculating on what's coming next. Right now, the two most likely killers seem to be Azure or Doombringer, as these are easily some of the most popular killers that players have been waiting to see added into the game. Of course, there's always this slight concern that it could end up like the Nosferatu situation, where a completely unexpected killer drops before the ones people are actually anticipating. But based on everything we're seeing right now, Azure and Doombringer still seem like the most realistic options. What makes this even more interesting is that Isaac has actually asked the community to start sending in their own fan-made skin concepts, not just for Azure but for other killers as well. So if you have ever wanted a chance to get your own skin into Forsaken, this is probably the best opportunity you're going to get. And looking at the submissions already, there are some insanely detailed concepts being made. A lot of players are putting in serious effort that genuinely look like they could be sold in the shop. For example, Isaac even responded to a Coreblox Zombie King concept, which is based on different Coreblox items from Roblox. The design fits perfectly with the killer and even includes clear references, so it doesn't feel random at all. We've also seen concepts like an Ozymandias Doombringer skin, which takes inspiration from multiple Roblox items, but still manages to fit the overall theme of Doombringer. Then there are more creative ideas, like a meadow or ethereal garden Azure skin, which matches the sort of blossom theme we've seen with other skins like Spring 2 Time, making it feel like it belongs in the game. Another fan favorite is the Alice in Wonderland inspired Azure skin, which is based off of Cheshire Cat, which surprisingly works well with this character's design. And then we've even got ideas like Executioner's Dr. Octopus concept for Azure, which looks incredible, but realistically it might not make it into the game due to copyright concerns. It's clear that Forsaken is already preparing heavily for the next update, even if we don't have a confirmed release yet. And with that amount of creativity coming from the community, there's a real chance that some of these skin concepts might make it into the games. Alongside all the redesigns we've been seeing recently for skins that were either removed or are getting replaced, there's another one that a lot of people completely forgot about, and that's the Missing No Nolly skin. This was originally based on the Missing No sprite from Pokemon Red and Blue, and it was actually one of the more popular skins last year when it was just a fan-made concept that made its way into the game. But now it's officially getting a full redesign, and what we've seen so far, it looks like a pretty big upgrade while staying true to the original idea. Isaac recently shared the new design in the Discord, and the changes are immediately noticeable. The skin now has a much more orange color scheme, while still keeping that glitch-like pixelated effect on the right side of Nolly's face. On top of that, there are now these skeleton or almost tentacle-like wings coming from the back. They were there once before, but they look way better in the previous design. We even got to see a part of the hallucination laugh animation. So this skin is much more ahead than what we expected. And it's not just the model that's changing either. The Void Star is also getting an update, where it will now include extra trinkets and cycle through different objects when thrown. This is similar to how JX1DX1 used to function, which adds a lot more variety and makes the skin feel more complete. Because of all these changes, a lot of players are actually really happy with how this redesign is turning out, since it feels like a proper upgrade rather than a simple rework. There are also a few extra details worth mentioning. One of the biggest things people are hoping for is a chase theme, because Vlad actually made a chase theme for this skin, but then it never got released. So with this new version, there's a good chance that we might finally see it added in. As for why the original was removed in the first place, it was mainly because of the original owner, Robin, as they didn't want their work to be in-game anymore. Of course, not everyone is fully satisfied. Some players feel like the corruption aspect doesn't look glitchy enough, especially since Missing No is known for that broken, distorted style. Others have pointed out that this version actually resembles the Pokemon Green version of Missing No more closely, which does make sense given the color scheme. Right now, there's no exact release date, but with another update expected soon, there's a good chance we'll see this alongside other reworked skins. There was an update that released during a time when Forsaken was holding a charity event to raise funds through skin purchases, and this was the Earth Day event. This event introduced a number of unique skins, including Green Day Builderman, Earth Day Shedletsky, Clean Gent 007N7, Tree Hugger Elliot, Green Belt Guest 1337, and Guardian 1X. At the time, these skins were only available during the event, which you had to purchase them, and since then, they've remained completely exclusive to those players. What's interesting is that even though Earth Day has recently passed again, there hasn't been any mention of these skins returning, or even a re-release of the event itself. Because of that, a lot of players are starting to question whether these skins will ever come back, as some people think they should stay exclusive, as they were part of a one-time charity event, while others believe they should return in some form so newer players can actually get them. This also ties into a bigger issue Forsaken has had before with exclusivity. As we can see in the recent Easter update, OG players didn't receive any kind of exclusive reward or variant, which we now know that Isaac has mentioned they do not want to make exclusivity a huge thing in Forsaken, so they have moved away from giving variants to OG players. Another reason people believe these skins haven't returned yet is due to some controversy surrounding the original event. There were allegations that the previous owner of the game didn't properly handle the charity funds, which likely made the devs more cautious about revisiting anything inside of that update. A lot of players are suggesting that they could come back through the shop or as a redesigned version, allowing them to exist without bringing back the same issues. If that does happen, they'll likely be priced fairly high, especially considering their history. But at the same time, it would give more players the chance to actually use these skins rather than having them locked away permanently. And speaking of forgotten skins, there was also the Seal Elliot skin, which was originally planned as part of a Game Pass and even shown off on Discord, but it ended up being scrapped from what it seems. This was most likely due to the drama at the time, where people were getting annoyed with Basil posting seals on Discord and wondering what she does for the game. It's just unlikely that we will see this skin, but nothing has been officially confirmed. There's still a lot of potential for the Earth Day skins to return. Do you want to see these skins back in with a new redesign? Now, something much bigger has happened recently within Roblox itself, and it's actually starting to impact games like Forsaken in a negative way. Roblox has introduced new versions of the platform, specifically Roblox Select and Roblox Kids. And with these changes, communication between players has become a lot more restricted. In Forsaken, this is already causing issues. You might have seen a pop-up where you are unable to chat with certain players because they are not within your age range. That means you can't properly communicate with them in-game unless you switch to some other platform to chat, which just isn't ideal when you're just trying to play normally. Because of this, a tweet from a player actually blew up, and even the official Forsaken account responded, saying that they are looking into this. So clearly, this is something that the devs are aware of, but it does mean they will need to find a solution fairly quickly. One of the best solutions people are suggesting is a quick chat system. This will let players communicate using preset messages instead of typing, which gets around these restrictions completely. And the interesting thing is, this has already been implemented in some Forsaken modded versions. They have already included a wheel where you can select different prompts, and it appears above your character's head in-game. Other Roblox games like Dandy's World have also done something similar, which shows that it could actually work well. And for a game like Forsaken, communication is really important, whether that's asking Elliot for help or just thanking someone for saving you. So if these restrictions continue, Forsaken will likely need to adapt, and adding a proper quick chat system might be the best way to keep the game feeling smooth and playable. So, Forsaken are already preparing way more for this next update. What do you want to see in game? And subscribe and like for more content like this.